Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our special Fifth Thursday special presentation today. It's June 29th, 2023. We're very glad you're with us this afternoon. Please note this event is currently being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the CareerDFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. For those people on Zoom, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just put them into the chat window. For those on Facebook, thank you for joining us. Please just enter any comments you've got in the comment field. We're monitoring both feeds. We'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. All right, today's presentation is successful job searches focus on these 4 areas. Let me get that presentation up for us. Let's see here. New share. Go. All right. So just a little background about me, who I am. My name is Jeff Morris. I'm the founder of CareerDFW. I've got 20 plus years in light manufacturing prior to retiring. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. They meet every Friday morning, except this Friday we're meeting only on Zoom because of Vacation Bible School. I'll tell you about our program that we have coming up tomorrow morning at the end of the session. In 2008, I created a website called CareerDFW.org, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, as a way to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, I always have copies with me. In 2012, I was invited to go to the White House Forum on Job Clubs and Career Ministries, sponsored by the White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. I was the only representative from the state of Texas there. It was really interesting to see other people who do what I do around the country and how they help job seekers. In 2012, after coming back from the White House, I started a second website, CareerUSA.org, to help those around the United States because nobody else was doing anything like I was doing with CareerDFW. CareerDFW and Career USA, we're a 501c3 not-for-profit organization. We have no full or part-time employees. Everything I've done has strictly been to help you land your next great opportunities. CareerDFW survives on donations and book sales. We have a LinkedIn group. We encourage you to join our Career USA LinkedIn group. I encourage you to join the CareerDFW LinkedIn groups. You don't have to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join those groups. To join that group. The DFW group has over 14,800 members. It's a great way to connect with other people. And I will tell you this, probably 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 15 of those people in that group are recruiters or they work in the HR department. So it's a great way. They're joining these groups because they are trying to find you. So make sure your profile is mostly complete. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. We do have a CareerDFW Facebook page. You're welcome to follow us on that. Every time you do, the phone will go live, telling it'll give you a little thing saying we're currently doing something live. Please subscribe to our Career USA YouTube channel. We've got over 510 recorded career workshops. This one will be up there later this afternoon. So I encourage everybody, if you can, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way, if you can't join us when we're doing a live presentation, you'll be able to see the ones that we can record up on the website. All right, we're going to talk about the 4 areas of your job search that you need to focus on. And they are resumes, LinkedIn, interviewing, and networking. These are the big 4. These are the 4 things you've got to do it. And I think you need to do it in this order. You've got to get your resume prepared. Once that's done, then work on your LinkedIn profile. Once that's done, practice your interviewing skills. Your resume, your LinkedIn profile are not going to get you a job. They only get you a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills, that's what's going to be your next, what's going to get you your next job. And then, of course, networking. You're going to be doing networking all the time with people, but you need to be prepared to do that. So what I'm going to talk about today is the tip of the iceberg. If we had weeks and weeks and weeks, or if you wanted to watch all the videos we have on the Career USA YouTube channel, that would cover everything below the waterline. But we're going to just sort of skim the top, skim the important things, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's talk about resumes first. One of the things I see in a lot of job seekers is analysis paralysis. They start working on a resume, and a week later, they're still working on the resume. They're trying to come up with that perfect resume. There is no perfect resume, okay? So my question is, do you have a master resume? This is a resume that has everything you've ever done since college. It includes, if you have any college co-ops that you've done, include those there. You want the supervisor's names, your addresses, your exact dates, all the details. Because then when you see a job application or something you're interested in, take that master resume, save it as, however you save your naming conventions, and then eliminate everything that's not in the job description. Because this way, you've already thought about it. You don't have to go, you know, I think I used to do that. How do I determine? Spend a couple hours, put together that master resume, then make it easy for yourself that when you're applying, you can just eliminate those things that are unimportant. You have to remember your resume is just a hook. It is just there to get them to call you on the phone. You've got to customize every resume you send out, okay? You've got to, if you need to change job titles, you need to add details, change bullet points. You want to make it easy for the recruiter to see that your resume fits. You've got to keep it to the details of the job description. Everybody here has done a lot of really, really great things over the years. If they're not asking for it in the job description, don't tell them about it when you apply, because you want that resume to see that match. All right, on resumes, you've got on your bullet points, you've got to have dollars, percent, numbers. You've got to quantify what it is you do, because you don't want your resume to read like a job description, because that doesn't tell me what you did. I need somebody who can increase sales. I need somebody who can answer the phone 400 times a week. I need somebody who can, sell $2.5 million worth of equipment every year. Whatever that is, you show me that you can do those things, then that, I think it's really important. It's an easy way for me to see, yeah, I need to bring you in because I want to talk with you. Do not just blindly send out resumes. I think that's a real waste of time, because number one, you don't know what they're looking for. And, you don't know what they're looking for. If you've got a job description, you know. But if you're just sending resumes out to contacts, that's not going to work, because all that does is scream, help me, help me, help me. I'm looking for a job. Do not post your resume on LinkedIn. Once again, if you do, your resume is, 1 or 2 pages long. Your LinkedIn profile will have all those details in it. So there's no reason to post a resume, because you may be posting, if you specifically know this is exactly the only thing I want to do, maybe. But other than that, don't do it. What I recommend you do, though, is consider a 1-page bio. Consider a biography that tells people, here's what you can do to help them, okay, at a high level. You can use it for networking, you can use it for public speaking, you can use it for all sorts of great things. But don't just, don't send out resumes. I recommend a 1-page bio. Now, there's a really, really good book by Minna Brown and Paula Asanoff. And in the second half of this book called Be Sharp, she has about 30 different bios that are shown there for different examples and what's going on. If you buy this book, you can get it on Amazon for like $17 or $18, whatever. Be sure to get the second edition. The second edition had a lot more bios. The first edition only had a couple, because back then it wasn't very popular. Nowadays, I think everybody should have a bio. Anybody, any white collar worker, I think it really makes things easy. And this is what you do. And off here to the right side, that is Minna Brown's bio. Now, she is an executive coach. She's an author, a public speaker, and she trains executive coaches. So this is more of an ad slick for her, but this is a great way to promote. This is just one example of what she's done to show people what she can use for a sales tool. Okay, let's talk about your resume and the ATS system, the applicant tracking system. You've got to make sure that your resume, when you're applying, doesn't use any special characters or any special formatting. Okay, you need to keep it to the plain, simple bullet. You need to keep no special formatting. You want to delete all those special characters because there's well over 300 different ATS systems out there. And if you use those ATS systems, no two of them are the same. Now, a lot of them will recognize certain things, but a lot of them won't recognize anything. You do not want to use the header or footer section in Microsoft Word. I've heard from recruiters, people see this really, really great resume and they get it, but then there's no contact information because the person put their information up in the header and the ATS system deleted, just didn't recognize anything that. You also don't want to use tables. Tables are not read by many ATS systems. You do want to make sure that the keywords align with the job description. It's the most important thing. If they're looking for a customer service representative and you're a customer relationship specialist at your last job, you need to change the title so that the titles match. Make sure the keywords in the resume match. So take a yellow highlighter, print out the job description, print off the keywords, and do you have those keywords in your resume? Because that's what's going to let the ATS system make the match. Yeah. One of the things on your bullet points is you've got to focus on results and your accomplishments. And I love the playing the so what game. The so what game is read the bullet points and say, so what? If you have an answer and you say, well, yeah, I saved $1 million, I brought down, increased productivity, whatever, great. But if you don't have that, so what? Come up with that because that's what's going to get you. That's what's going to make them pick up the phone and call you. Be sure to use action verbs to start every bullet point. Okay, it makes it a little bit more exciting. You can just Google action verbs and you can find all these really great tools that be able to help you with that. Some common resume mistakes that we see all the time. Spelling and grammatical errors. Listen, a recruiter's got 100, 200 resumes that they're going through, typically on a computer. So what are they doing? They're going to spend 7 to 10 seconds to go, yeah, this person looks right, or yeah, this person doesn't look right. They're going to put you in the yes, no, or maybe pile. Most people go in the no pile. And they're looking for any reason to put you in the no pile. Okay, any kind of spelling error, boom, gone. Grammatical error, meaning by present tense or past tense. If you no longer work at a job, all your tenses need to be past tense. You've got to make sure you use a professional email address. Jeff loves kittycats@gmail.com doesn't do it, okay? That's not professional. Jeff Morris PMP@gmail.com would be a professional email address. You've got to show, if you fail to demonstrate and quantify results, we've talked about that already, you've got to show results. And then the format or the design is too elaborate. Recruiters are used to seeing the same thing. Back in the day, you could print your thing off onto a heavy bond paper. You could a little bit colored ivory paper. You could do something a little bit different. Nowadays, people are scanning this stuff on a computer. Keep it simple and make it easy for them to read. A couple other common resume mistakes we see is too much text. And what we mean by that is no borders. You don't give us enough, 1-inch board, white space is good. If you try to cram all this information in, it's not going to work well. If you have to go to a third page, that's fine. But I don't see a lot of jobs that you have that much detail that talks specifically what you've done that match that kind of thing up. So, less is more in many cases. Make sure your tenses are correct. Present and past tense, I've already mentioned that. You do not need to mention at the bottom of your resume references available upon request. If they want them, they're going to ask for them. And you've got to customize every resume to match the job description. Well, we talk about resumes on the first and third Thursdays of every month at 1 o'clock Central Time, right here in this time slot. So the first and third Thursdays, we talk about effective resumes. We go into a lot more detail. We spend a whole hour on it. We actually look at a couple resumes if anybody would like to submit their resumes. So join us, check out the Career DFW calendar. We'll have all that information there. All right, so let's talk about LinkedIn for a little bit. In January, this is off the air LinkedIn websites. 95 job applications are submitted each minute. 10 million people are using the open to work feature. 50 million people use LinkedIn each week to search for jobs. 6 people get hired every minute on LinkedIn. There are 61 million companies listed on LinkedIn and over 120,000 schools. So you want to be on LinkedIn if you're not. So on LinkedIn, you've got to make sure that you have your profile fully developed and up to date. You know, LinkedIn will help you. Do you have anything to put in this category? Do you have anything to put in that category? Just ask them, you know, ask LinkedIn to help you fill stuff out. Does your profile tell a company how you can help them? Remember, a company is hiring you because they have a problem. You're a problem solver. They need somebody to design a new circuit. They need somebody to sell a new product. They need somebody to warehouse that product. They need somebody to ship that product out. Does your profile tell a company how you can help them? It's a, you know, remember, you're just here to solve their problems. When you go into a resume, how can I help your company succeed? What do you need me to do so that you can become successful? Can someone reach out to you easily? Okay, on LinkedIn, do you have your information in the contact information fields? Do you have your information in the about section? Now, the reason I say put it in the about section is because if I'm not a first degree connection with you, I can't see your contact information. But if you put it in your about section, there's a great way for me to see your information. And if I'm interested, I know how to reach out to you. Be sure that you have a good focus statement to tell somebody what it is you're doing. For example, starting out with an action verb, experienced Java front-end engineer or talented marketing brand manager. So here's a great way to tell people what it is you do. So here's an example of my profile, my LinkedIn profile. So I've got a banner on here, and I've actually created a banner to make a little bit of more interest that shows who I am, what I'm doing, how maybe I can help them. I have my email and my phone number actually built in my banner, so anybody looking at my profile will see what that is. For my action statement, accomplished manufacturing manager, operation manager, general manager. Put a little saying, better, faster, smarter. Okay, a little saying, just something that tells people what it is you do. You know, I help, you know, I can explain IT to my mother. You know, something, you know, my parents understand IT because of me, something. Then I put down speaker at career workshops and events. So, you know, make sure your banner, number one, has something on it. You can go to canva.com, canva.com to build a banner that represents who you are. Okay, be sure that you add a professional email address. So we've already talked about that. No, Kathy loves kitty cats at gmail.com. Be sure to include professional email address and then the closest large city state. So in this case, this is the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if you wanted to list Dallas or Fort Worth, that'd be great. But I don't think I would list the Colony or Roanoke or Keller, or some of those smaller cities around there. I would pick the DFW Metroplex because that's going to give you a broader sense of when somebody is searching, trying to find you. Always send a personal note whenever you send a LinkedIn invitation. I don't accept invitations if I don't know why we should connect. You need to send me a note. You saw me here today at this presentation. You know, thanks for the website. Just whatever it is, just send me some note telling me why we should connect, and I'll connect with you. But if you send that generic invitation, I just ignore those. All right. Even on a cell phone, you can send a personal invitation. So, and I'll talk about it in just a second. There are two different kinds of connect buttons. There's white connect buttons and there's blue connect buttons. All right, let me go to the next slide here. So there's a white connect button. If you click on that white connect button, it will automatically send a generic invitation. So what you want to do is you want to click on the person's face, and then up will come a blue connect button. When you see a blue connect button, that allows you to send a personal note if you're using a PC or your Mac, okay? If you're using a desktop computer. Now, if you're using the mobile application, it's not going to do that. So be sure to always look for that blue connect button, always send that personal note. Let me back up here. This is a screenshot from an iPhone using the mobile application. If you were to click on that blue connect button, it sends a generic invitation. So you always want to click on the more or a little hamburger or three dots. They keep changing what it is off to the side. On a cell phone using the mobile app, click that, and then you'll see over there on the right, the second screen will pop up. It'll say personalized invite. That allows you to send that personal invitation. So just be aware of the difference of the white connect button, the blue connect button, and the blue connect button on a desktop versus a blue connect button on a phone or mobile application. Okay, you've got to make sure you complete your profile to all-star status, okay? To do that, you have to have a current position, a location, an industry, a summary, at least 5 skills, education, and a photo. So let's talk about some of those. Photo, here is a bunch of photos. Here's a couple good ones and a couple bad ones. So the upper left-hand photo, good photo of his face, except it's all washed out and the background's too busy. He needed good front lining, but it's a nice, you see who he is, sort of, except for everything being cloudy. The second one over, the guy in the purple shirt, that's fine for Facebook, but that's not a professional LinkedIn profile. These are all photos off of LinkedIn. The third one over, this is the lady in the orange yellow chair. To me, that's too far away. I just need to see you from, shoulders up. Okay. I use LinkedIn when I don't know who somebody is who sends me an email. I look them up on LinkedIn. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that person at a convention last year. I use it as a reference tool. So we want to see your face. Okay. The next person over, the one in the upper right-hand corner, that's Gail. Is that him Gail or her Gail? We don't know. No husband-wife photos, no team photos, just put a photo of you up there. Lower left-hand corner, this person's open to work, which is great, but once again, the background's too far away. Okay, it looks like he's standing next to some chess pieces, I think. Interesting photo, but you can't really tell who the person is. Those next two photos on the bottom, great photos, colored black and white. I'm fine with a black and white photo as long as you're staring at the screen, a nice smile. That's what we're looking for on LinkedIn. I don't want to put my photo on LinkedIn. I may be discriminated against. Listen, everybody here has met somebody at church, at a bar, at a restaurant, and gone, I want to go talk to that person. Okay. If somebody is to see you online and goes, I don't want to see you. Do you really want to go to an interview when they walk in, they see you and go, okay? You've got to have your photo on LinkedIn. It's just important, but get a good photo with a plain background, like those two in the very bottom on the center and right-hand side. Those photos will be, make you look good. All right, make sure headline. You've got to have a headline, and that's the title that goes just underneath your name of what the position is you're looking for, okay? And make sure it's a job title that's on LinkedIn. So if you're a chief people person, there is no chief people person on a LinkedIn job. Maybe director of human resources, maybe director of talent acquisition. Do something, make sure that the job titles that you're applying to, that you mention in your job under that title, are jobs that you're applying to. You don't want to say project management. Nobody's looking for project management. They're looking for a product manager. So make sure it's the correct verbiage of a job description. Use the open to work feature, okay? Put that on there. You know, when it first came out a year and a half ago, people really debated, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? I'm not sure. Yes, no. Does it make me look desperate? Listen, if you're open to work, put it on. And here's why. Less than 50% of recruiters pay LinkedIn for the recruiting package, either the full-blown recruiting package or Recruiter Lite. If you don't put that green banner on, the other 50% of recruiters and all of your contacts aren't going to know that you're looking for a job. So you want to make it easy for people to see that, yes, you're open to work. There's nothing wrong with it. Back, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you didn't want to be associated with an employed person. Nowadays, everybody's gone through it. Just put the banner on there. Make it easy for people. All right, the About section. In the About section, you want to make sure it's an overview of your career using keywords from your profession, and be sure to include contact information. You're welcome to go look at my profile and you'll see how mine's written. It's written in first person. The paragraphs are no more than 3 lines. I think 3 lines max is all you need to have, because anything 4, 5, 6 lines, people don't read a block of text. People scan, okay? So make it easy for people to see what it is you've done. And the bottom of my profile, I have how can I help your company, or, please feel free to reach out. Here's my email address and phone number. And then I have a bunch of keywords underneath it, because keywords, LinkedIn is a lot like an ATS system. A recruiter's going to type in, they're looking for a project manager who's got, and then 3 or 4 skills. Well, you want it to pop up on your resume. You want your profile to pop up. Having those keywords make a difference. In the experience section, use your job title, your official job title. And if it's an unusual job title like Chief People Person, in parentheses, you probably want to put Director of Talent Acquisition. Or if you're a program manager, in parentheses, you may want to put what kind of program manager you've done, what you specialize in. Be sure to include a description of your duties, including keywords from your profession, and show results. You do need to have an education listed, even if you've only partially gone to college and you have a certain number of hours. Just list that you've completed X number of hours, or due to complete my Bachelor of Science in May of 2025, whatever. Put down what it is that you've done, any awards you've got, certifications, professional development. There's all sorts of spaces for that information. Put in skills. You need to have at least 5 skills. You can have up to 50. Pick the 5 skills that are the most important to you, that you want people to know, and make sure those are at the very, very top of the list. There's a way to reorder and talk about those things. And then you need to have recommendations. You need to have 3 to 5 recommendations, and they need to be current. 2 or 3 recommendations, they need to be current. They've got to be from 2021, 2022, 2023, because I've seen some profiles and their last recommendations from like 2014. Nobody cares. You might as well just hide those. Just show some current, show some current skills. So sorry about that. Didn't have those up there for you. Okay, here's a couple settings you want to make sure you turn off. Number 1, turn off people also viewed. Have you gone and seen people's profile, and over on the very right-hand side, it has 10 other people just like who the person is you're looking for. You don't want to promote anybody else, so be sure to turn that feature off. And then be sure to turn on, let recruiters know that you're open to new opportunities. You can add the green banner if you want, but if not, at least put, you're only going to get to some recruiters who actually are paying for the package to know that you're looking for a new job. Be sure to follow any company that you're interested in applying to. If you're interested in a job at DFW Airport, click on the follow button. When you see their page, follow them. Because one of the features of the recruiting package for recruiters is that when they type in that they're looking for a project manager, let's say, and they put in a couple keywords, whatever it is, and then 50 people pop up in the upper right-hand corner of their screen, it says 14 people follow your company. Well, they might as well they'll look at those 14 people first to see if any of them are qualified, because if they're already following my company, they know what it is we do. So follow any company that you're interested in. You've got to be active on LinkedIn. You've got to like, post, and share things, okay? You should post something once a week. Post an article, tell people, show people your expertise. A great place to get that information, if you don't know what to post, go to feedly.com, feedly.com. It's a great way to do it. You want to share somebody's post. So if you see somebody's post, share it to your community. Add a comment. Nowadays, you have to have 12 words on a LinkedIn comment to get the maximum value of points. LinkedIn measures everything you do and rates you on how active you are. You can then share things with no comment, get you less points, and then like something, like 3 to 5 things a day. Just go through on your news feed. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. That'll work great. All right, always reply to any LinkedIn in-mail or connection request. One of the things LinkedIn does is they keep track if you're active, if you're replying. One of the things recruiters can do is they can say, only search people who are more likely to respond. And it helps them be able to, connect with those people, because recruiters want to find people who are going to respond to an in-mail. So we talk about LinkedIn every Tuesday at 1 p.m. We've got 4 different speakers who talk about LinkedIn. You're welcome to join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. All the information is on the CareerDFW or Career USA calendar. And if you're not part of our email distribution list, I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. All right, so let's talk about interviewing. So now your resume is done, your LinkedIn profile is ready to go. The next step is you've got to practice your interviewing skills, because as I've said before, your resume and LinkedIn profile are not going to get you a job. What they will get you is a phone call. So you've got to be prepared for an interview. Every bullet point on your resume should have a story. One of the things that I like to recommend is that you get some index cards. And on those index cards, you put down your bullet point across the top. I think you put STAR down the side. And then write out one sentence for each one of your, here's my situation. Here was the task that was assigned. Here are the actions that I took, and here was the result. Okay. You've got to make sure you keep your answers down to 45 to 60 seconds. If you're online, if you're meeting in person, you can maybe go 90 seconds, but never more than 90 seconds for any answer, because you want shorter answers. It's better for you to give a short, distinct answer and then say, and if you'd like to have more details, I can go into more detail, or would you like to know more information or something like that? So just be aware that keep it short, keep it simple, but by writing things down, whatever method is you want to use. I mean, there's raw, there's CAR, there's all sorts of different topics. What this does is this allows you to sit there and you can practice, and you can go through and you can see what your stories are going to be as you're doing them, and you can practice. And by writing them down, you've thought about it, you've written it down, you visually have seen it. It will help put it into your mind much better than typing it out. Okay. Be prepared for the following questions. Why do you want to work here? I know a recruiter, and she asks this to every candidate. If the candidate doesn't have a good answer, they don't go on. How much did you make at your last job? Now, I know the salary question you can't ask in a lot of states, but you've got to be prepared to talk about your salary. What you made at your last job is unimportant. What a good answer could be is, well, I've done some research, and according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, for this job title in this market, the pay range is between this and that. I'm sure that whatever your company is going to pay will be fair and equitable. Would you mind sharing what that range is? Okay. It shows you've done some research. It shows you have an idea of what the pay should be. Forget about what you made at your last job. And then why did you leave your last job? Or why did you leave the job before that, or the job before that, or the job before that? I once had an interview, worst interview I ever went to, had the owner of the company from Pittsburgh, the director of manufacturing from Salt Lake City and the head of human resources flew into Dallas. They were opening a new office here, sat there for an interview, and all they did was go through from the bottom of my resume. So why'd you leave this job? And why'd you leave this job? And why'd you leave this job? And why'd you leave it? That was their major question. And that was done. Now, I was really new to interviewing at the time, so I really wasn't prepared to sort of take the interview and turn it into what I needed it to do. But, you know, it was just worst interview I've ever had. So you've got to be prepared. You've got to have 10 questions. And we like to call this Ron's 10 plus 1. 10 questions ready to ask. And your goal is to try to get 5 of those questions answered during the interview. So, you know, you've got questions that you want to ask, and they go and they ask something, and then, you know, well, can you tell me about a time when blah, 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 you know, happened, something that you do so you can find out something new. You don't want this interview to become an inquisition. You want it to become a conversation. And then those last 5 questions that you may not ask during the interview, you have in case they say, well, do you have any other questions? Well, yes, I do. And here's the number, you know, here's one, depending on half it. The +1 question at the very bottom of your list should always be, what's the next step? Ask for the job. Okay. How do I compare to the ideal candidate? Not how do I compare to the other candidates? We don't care about the other candidates. We want to know, how do I compare to the ideal candidate? If we're looking, maybe we haven't talked about something that you're looking for. Okay, you want to make sure you find out what the next steps are going to be. You want to be at the end of an interview, express even greater interest in the position you're looking for, and you want to be asked to advance to the next step or ask for the job. Hey, I saw that empty desk sitting out there. Would that be my desk? I can start on Monday. You know, if you felt the interview went well, ask for the job. You know, be sure you know what the next step is. If I don't hear from you by next Tuesday, is it okay if I call you Wednesday morning? You know, be sure to set some things. Who will I be hearing from? Just know what's going to happen. Some common interview mistakes that we see. Number 1 is forgetting to take credit. When you are talking about what you did, you've got to use I or my and not we. They're not hiring the group. They're hiring you. So be sure that when you're talking about your bullet points, this is what I had to do, or these were my responsibilities as we solve that problem. Never, ever speak negatively about any previous job, coworker, or boss, no matter how bad it was. If you speak negatively about something in the past, the person interviewed is going to go, well, they may talk bad about me in the future. I don't want that. Stay positive. Do not focus too much on the person asking the question. So if you're in a panel interview, be sure to talk to each person at the same question. So person A asks you a question, you answer person A. But as you're doing it, be sure to look at person B, look at person C, go back to A, and then B and C as you answer that question to make sure you tie them all in. All right, you want to practice your interviewing skills. The Dallas Pit Crew, it's a very unique situation. Nobody else has this as far as I know. This is really great. They are meeting in person on the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of the month at 1 o'clock on Wednesdays. On the 2nd, 4th, and 5th Wednesdays at 1 p.m. We are live on Zoom and Facebook Live. And we have interviews. We have some really great information. So come join us for that. The practice interview team every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central, either in person or live, or if you want to conduct your own interview, send your information in to the Dallas Pit Crew. You see it, DallasPitCrew@gmail.com and or DallasPitCrew@gmail.com, and you can schedule an interview, send in a resume and a job description. One of the things that we have on the Career USA YouTube channel is a 13-part workshop. When COVID hit, we had Mark McDonald and Walt Glass put together. We said, hey, we all get together. Would you want to, put together some kind of workshop for people who are, unemployed about interviewing? They sat down, they came up with a 13-part workshop. 12 steps wasn't enough. They had to go 13. The first 5 sessions are what do you do before the interview, preparing for the interview. The second 5 sessions are what do you do during the interview. And then the last 3 are some advanced topics. All right, and I'll show you where to find those in the Career USA YouTube channel in just a moment. The fourth area we want to talk to briefly is just about networking. You've got to get out and network. You've got to remember that only 5 to 10% of jobs are found online. So if you're interviewing a candidate, you know, if you're being interviewed and you're trying to search for a job, it's going to take you forever if you're on a computer all day. It may seem productive, but believe me, it's not very productive. Okay, 10 to 15% of jobs are found using a recruiter. 75 to 80% of jobs are found networking. So get out and network with people. Referrals have a 50% shot of getting an interview, where a non-referral has a 1 to 2% chance. So a non-referral would be somebody who fills out an online application and just happens to get a call out of the blue. A referral means that they may have filled out the online application. They went to LinkedIn, they found somebody inside the company, and they had that person contact the hiring manager or the person in HR going, hey, you need to talk to this person. Here's a resume they turned in for this job description. You want to make sure you reach out to everybody you know. Very important. And probably you already know everybody you need to know to network. Just get back out and reach out to those people that you already know. Here's one of the ways you can do it. I love this. This is you can send an email every 3 to 4 weeks out. It's 4 paragraphs. First paragraph, I want to thank the following people for their help over the last couple of weeks. Thanks to Bob and Sue and Carol and Mark and Scott. Now, maybe nobody helped you, but they don't know that because you're sending this email out blind copy to everybody. Second paragraph, as a reminder, I'm looking for a position as a project manager in electronics engineering, or I'm looking for help trying to decide what kind of project management I should get into, something like that. Number 3, if you know anybody who works at, and list 3 target companies. If you know somebody who works at any one of these 3 companies, please let me know. And the last paragraph, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Now, the first time you send this out, you may not hear from anybody. The second time, you may hear from 1 or 2 people. The third time, even better. But remember, in sales, and everybody here is on sales, it usually takes 4 to 7 touches before a salesperson succeeds in getting business. So send this out every 3 to 4 weeks. Let your contacts know. And if you need to send out 2 different emails, send one to friends and family, and send the other one to business associates. You want to keep that one more, professional. So we talk about networking on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of the month. Once again, 1 o'clock right here on this Thursday session. Today's because it's the 5th Thursday. That's why we're talking, we're doing something special. But 2nd and 4th Thursdays, we talk all about networking. We've got a bunch of different speakers who talk about it. We're rotating through, hearing their presentation. So if you're interested, networking is primarily the same thing. It's just reaching out to the people, but everybody does it in a little bit different fashion. So come join us. So every Tuesday we talk about LinkedIn. Every Wednesday we talk about interviewing. Every Thursday, either effective resumes or networking. And every Friday morning, the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. All right, a little bit of bonus material and we will get out of here. Be sure to visit our Career USA YouTube channel. It's not 480, it's like 510, 515 videos now that we've got published on all these topics are all out there. If you go to the Career USA YouTube channel, click on playlist where you see that green arrow, then pick the list you want. Networking, North Dallas Plano, speakers, LinkedIn, resumes, interviewing, whichever topic it is you want. And then don't click on the video, but click where that purple arrow is. It says view full playlist. Up will come a list of all the different dates and topics, and just scroll down and find what you're interested in viewing. And you can go back and watch it at your leisure. A little saying, and I didn't come up with this, if you're not early, you're late. 5 minutes early is on time is late. What Vince Lombardi used to say, their players weren't there 5 minutes early, they were late. He expected people to show up at their meetings on time. Get out of the house, go to these in-person meetings that are happening nowadays. Put on your big boy pants, get dressed, get out, go meet somebody, because the networking that happens before and after a meeting is almost as valuable as what the content is during the meeting, because that's when you really get to know somebody and find if maybe they can help you. So, get to a meeting and, respect other people, get there on, respect the leaders, get there on time. On an email, be sure to include all of your details. I get emails all the time. Hey, Jeff, call me Bob. Who? You didn't tell me who you are, and I have to try to figure it out. So make it easy. Every email I send, every reply I send, this is what goes out. It tells people who I am, my phone number, my email address, my LinkedIn address, in case they don't know who I am. They can go look me up on LinkedIn real quick. And I include the websites because I'm always promoting CareerDFW and Career USA. So on your PC or Mac, easy. Set up your signature line on the email program. On your cell phone, for every mail application you're using, be sure to do the same thing. You'll have to set it up individually for every account and set it up individually for every different program that you use to view it on. Make sure your display name says who you are. This first one, WSU Cougar 96, was a lady who was thanking the North Dallas group for her, the help and the networking abilities that she got through the group. And I was thinking when I got it now, I may have some Cougars that are in my group on Friday morning, but I don't think they're 96 years old. And this happened to be during March Madness a few years ago. And I went, oh, WSU, Washington State University, happened to be called the Cougars. I saw them playing. She graduated in 1996. So, this is one of those things you don't want to do. The second one here, Mike Gmail, somehow Mike's last name changed at some point. I don't think he did it. Something happened during an update. His last name by Gmail changed to Gmail, and he had to just go back and fix it to that. If you have something like BR6OFSSC, what in the heck is that? TBCPA2@juno.com. You want to make sure your display name is like what shows up at the bottom so people know who you are. If you know somebody's unemployed, please let them know about CareerDFW and Career USA, 2 totally free websites. They are just here to help you land your next great opportunity. So please remember, join the CareerDFW, Career USA LinkedIn groups. Follow us on the CareerDFW Facebook page. Subscribe to our Career USA YouTube channel. If you'd like to join the Career USA mailing list, just send an email to CareerUSA, +subscribe@groups.io. You'll never be spammed, but what you will get is the topic of the day, the title of the day, and most importantly, the Zoom link of the day. And I'll pop this back up again here at the very, very end. So if your group is looking for a speaker, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to talk to any group about whatever topic it is they'd like to talk about. If you're interested in the book, it is on Amazon. Let me get out of this presentation here and share a little bit more, and we will get out of here today. So CareerDFW, Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. I just want to mention, where did that go? So tomorrow morning, where do you fit in the kingdom? There's a profile test out there called Kingdomality. Where do you fit? There's 12 different profiles that are out there. Where do you fit in the kingdom? How do you fit in with other people? It's sort of a fun little presentation, so come join us tomorrow morning. We are meeting online only tomorrow because of Vacation Bible School. So just join us online tomorrow. Please don't show up at the church because you'll be there with about 400 other kids. We are not going to have any of the sessions the week of July 4th. We're going to take that week off. Have a safe and happy July 4th. We'll be back on July 11th with new live sessions. If you want to join the LinkedIn groups, you're welcome to do that. I've mentioned that already. This session has been recorded. It will be on the CareerDFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. Please follow each page, subscribe to both. We'd really appreciate it. I've already sort of pointed those out to you. If you're not receiving emails about our workshops, join the Career USA mailing list. I've mentioned that. CareerDFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have no full or part-time employees. Everything we've done strictly as a volunteer. I'm a volunteer trying to help you what's going on. So have a great afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning. If not, have a safe and happy July 4th week. And we'll be back on July 11th.